20 seconds is a long time. So this is Louis and Thais. They were part of our first graduating class on June 8th at Building 21. Louis got a full ride to Penn State, and Thais got a full ride to Temple University. I first met Louis the summer before freshman year in 2014 at a freshman orientation where we were sitting in a hot room filling out paperwork, and he asked to see me out in the hall. And when we went out in the hallway, he said, "I'm a little nervous about signing on to this new innovative school. Can you promise me that you'll prepare me for college and for what I want to do, which is to go into healthcare?" I took a deep breath, I shook his hand, felt this overwhelming sense of responsibility, and said, "Yes, I will do my best to prepare you." So what does it mean to prepare students? When we talk about learning at Building 21, we talk about passion plus agency equals impact. Passion is about connecting with something you care about and then building the skills and mindsets to do what you say you want to do in the world. We take a whole child approach to this because 85% of our kids come to us with very severe trauma. So how do we teach it? When we think about learning, we think about connections and curiosity. How does learning connect to yourself, each other, and the world around you? And how do we help students to be really curious about what they're learning? How many of you remember every job you've ever had? How many of you remember every course you've ever taken? So at Building 21, kids talk about their experiences, and the experiences are things that we try to connect to things that they care about. So these are students who are doing a presentation to a group of architects during Challenge Week when we connected them to a design project about designing our outdoor space. And this is at Temple University School of Architecture, where they're getting feedback on the design work that they did. Not much has changed in a very long time in high schools. The structures of school, course-based, age-based, grade-based groupings are remarkably stable. And it's not just that they're embedded into all of our policies and practices, they're embedded into our mindsets, into our psyches about what school is and what school isn't. So when you ask people to think about what school is, often they'll tell you what they took. I was cleaning out a box with my mother in the garage recently, and she's 76, and we pulled out her transcript, and it looked almost exactly like this. I asked her if I could show it, but she got a C in Polish, and so she told me I was not allowed to put it up on the screen. But this is what high school is. Transcripts tell us a lot more about how kids spend their time than what they learned. So can schools change? To be honest with you, I'm not sure. It's an uphill battle. And the kinds of work that we have to do to dismantle the structures of school is not for the faint of heart. And it's something that we've been working on at Building 21. The innovation we've done instructionally hasn't yet touched the structures of school, I would say. So imagine this. So imagine if instead of having a transcript that looked like that, what if we had a set of skills that looked like this? What if students graduated from high school and were able to tell you the kinds of things that they did academically from an integrated perspective, what they learned about themselves, the sorts of experiences that they had, and how these competencies came together to help them actually learn how to solve real problems in the world? What if there were portfolios of work in each of these content areas that students demonstrated mastery in over time, and that these didn't sit in siloed courses, but they sat in integrated learning across the curriculum? What if we made assessment really transparent to students so that we were able to tell them not just what grade they got, but what level they performed at? And if they clearly understood what it took for them to get from one level to the next, so that grades weren't a mystery to them, and in many cases felt based on whether or not the teacher liked them and whether they complied with all the rules that were in the classroom. What if we actually honored habits of success and next generation skills in the same way we honor content? What if we made it explicit to students about what does it take to go on my personal journey? How do I build a network? What does it mean to collaborate with each other? These are skills that we expect students to know, but we don't often intentionally teach them in school, and we very rarely tell students what it means to actually demonstrate them. So what if the kinds of continuum that we put in front of students made this explicit? It wasn't a mystery anymore. You want me to collaborate with someone else, you want me to build a network, I have no idea what you're talking about. One of the things I've learned from my students is that oftentimes we're asking them to hold out hope for something that they can't picture. And so we need to create opportunities for them to picture themselves in these spaces. What if part of their high school careers required them to have a certain type of experiences every year, and that those experiences became part of their portfolio, and those experiences were credit-bearing, not just elective credit-bearing, but were core to the graduation requirements? What if student progress looked like this? this? Instead of grades, what if we told students what their performance levels were, how much they grew? What if we set individual growth targets for each student around their portfolios of work, and then talk to them about how important it was for them to complete all of the work that they needed to complete? And what if these portfolios then created graduation requirements? What if instead of the 23.5 credits we have right now, what if there were content credits that were integrated across courses? What if wayfinding and next generation skills and habits of success actually mattered? And what if when students graduated, they had to demonstrate what it looks like to be able to do all of those things, not just whether they took 4 years of English and science? It would make it a lot easier then to create a curriculum that was inquiry-based. What if there was a network of learning opportunities across the city? What if students could take advantage of those because they knew what competencies they had to master? And they could master those in a variety of different places, not just within the four walls of the school. What if teachers were designers and that part of what they did is work together to create this great network of learning opportunities across the city? And what if they then were also able to help each other build curriculum? Because building curriculum is hard. But what if every teacher was thinking about what competency-based curriculum looks like and sharing them on some big platform so that teachers could go to a particular website and see, wow, I'm trying to learn this sort of structure or trying to teach this kind of a competency. Let me start with this studio that someone else designed that was taking on a big project in the city or a big problem in the city. And how then could teachers work together to design really good, high-quality content across integrated areas? We've made promises to kids. In order to keep those promises, we have to challenge ourselves to rethink the very structures and mindsets and foundations of schooling. And that is the only way we're actually going to keep promises to children about really preparing them for the future. Thank you.
All right.